Okay, welcome to my Sorrel-Weed vlog. Oh my god, I'm so excited. We booked it at 9 tonight, so I just got ice. That's why I'm down here. But we're gonna go at 9 p.m. and it's 13 plus 1, so that means we're gonna get it in like darker detail. And it's actually gonna be dark outside, so let's freaking go. But I guess I'll see you guys later because I had a lot to do today. Okay, here's my fit. These shoes with these socks. I have these like rip jeans shorts on, and then this vintage Universal shirt. This vintage Universal shirt. So, and then cartilage, this leather cartilage, and that. So, and then this. Okay, we are literally at Madison Square right now. So it's literally right there. And we actually get a tour of the carriage house too, and I didn't know. I didn't know if it was like a different thing you had to cost for, but it's literally in there. Oh my gosh. There's like this gate thing that leads into the basement, and it's like open, and guys, it smells haunted. And there's this lady by the carriage house in the back, and she was like, my dad was like, oh, she's the ghost person that like likes all this stuff. And then she was like, oh, then you're gonna love it. So, oh my god, hey, Dad. We're standing on like a lot of dead people.
Do not want to get
but literally,
me, but I want to get a picture.
This I'm very excited about, but that, yes. Zoom out. Okay, right here. Oh my god, it's so much bigger than I thought it would be, like than I imagined. This is what I'm talking about. It smells like it smells like Plymouth Rock. That's what it smells like. Oh my god, it's the Marshall House. I just freaking saw it and I was like, oh my god. That's literally, it's so cool. What? Okay. That's so cool. So basically, that's an old hospital where yellow fever patients died, and now it's a hotel. And I just like looked up when we were across the street. I was like, what? I was like, oh my god, it's literally right there. It's right there. We're gonna go into the Marshall House. Just the lobby though. Just the lobby. Right up here. I don't know if I'm allowed to film in here. It's fancy. I'm not. It smells nice. Huh? Thank you. Just wanted to look. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. It actually smells so good in here. What the frick? The bar.
1.5 right there.
I don't even know. This is really cool. I keep thinking this is like a hotel someone could be rented to, but it's not. I'm actually freaking out. This place is so fucking cool. I'm literally just in the lobby, just like roaming around. But like, oh my god. The only weird thing that's feeling me right now, like the feeling in me right now is my elbow. Like I'm getting like a weird pain in my arm, but like it's fine. I doubt it's anything though. Just in here roaming around because I'm excited as fuck.
We really like it here in town. We've only been here a couple days. We're only gonna be here 2 more, but it's really nice. And people seem friendly. Did he tell you the ghost thing about this? I think there's ghost stories about this hotel
What,
too.
isn't it the yellow fever thing?
Does this have anything to do with yellow fever?
Isn't this an old hospital?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, she knows stuff.
Yeah, I know my stuff.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ooh, and that means we
Mom and Zoe went to the store
I had to say
a little down. I really don't know. Like my arm is heavy. It's like my elbow at first. My elbow started like it was tensing up in a way, but like it was like a sharp pain, and then now my like hands are like numb. My one hand though, it's only my right arm. This is our third historic house stop, I think. Yeah, because we stopped at the Sorrel-Weed, then we stopped at Marshall, and now we're at Owens Thomas. So right here. I can't remember the story of this one, but this is a big house, and it's like thick. It's thick. But like if you look up here, it's big. And there's like a slave quarters and everything. Look at this. I'm sorry. I'm like, I was really tired over there. Okay, there's a carriage house to this, but just wow, that's really pretty and really cool. I want to see if maybe, is it possible if I walk around this way? See if I can get around the look. Each one of these always has this thing. There was another suicide here. I'm gonna like come around here so I can kind of show more of the house. It's like still going, but it's just how these windows are boarded up gets me, you know. They're barred up, which makes sense, but there's another view back here. Yeah, here's the carriage house. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm really allowed to be doing this, but that's the backyard. There's this big vault thingy somewhere, but it's down by the riverfront, and it's just these big vaults, just kind of roaming around, I guess. But we're down by like the Cotton Exchange and a ton of other stuff there. Okay, we're about to go now. Fit this and this, and I'm gonna put on a jacket. Anyways, we're supposed to not have like dangly earrings on or anything, but because they could get stolen, but it's fine. Is the vibe vibing? Yes? Okay. We're going now. Just to fit. Okay. So we made it. The house is back there, but we're gonna walk down here real quick to go to the bathroom because I don't have working plumbing there, but I am allowed to film in there, so I'm super excited now. But I put on my jacket. It's getting darker, as you can tell. We're at this like restaurant right here to go to the bathroom. But yeah, we have like 30 minutes until it starts, so we're gonna probably come back to the courtyard and hang out, and I'll kind of show around, and we'll wait till our thing starts. Actually, no, we're in this hotel to go to the bathroom. It's a little too nice in here. It's giving the shopping, like just how everything's set up. It's giving the shopping. Okay, we're waiting in the courtyard right now, but there is like a bigger group, so it's okay. I'm kind of scared, not gonna lie. But like, it's mostly just because we're with a bigger group, you know? Like, I don't know. Oh my gosh. Oh, hell no.
All right, everybody, I'm gonna close the door facing the house. All right, y'all, welcome. Again, my your tour guide for tonight. Welcome into the Sorrel-Weed House. Now, where you are standing is a real actively haunted house. There's no gimmicks here. There's not going to be any actors or smoke screens or props. What you see here is what you get. Now, I can't promise Casper's going to come down and shake your hand, but for the most part, I'm sure if you guys have your ears, your eyes, your senses open, if you're open to it, we're going to have a really good time tonight. Now, the reason I bring you in here to finish some of the rules is because I wanted to show you guys something in here. But for the most part, cigar smoke, and I would say take it with a grain of salt. The person next to you might have smoked a cigar before they came on the tour, but normally that's going to linger on somebody. This will just hit you and disappear very quickly. Even the piano behind you, that is an 1860 Steinway, and that did belong personally to Francis Sorrel. Now, he would play this, of course, and I've only heard that piano play twice. Once, I was actually in the women's parlor giving a tour, and a key was hit. No one was in this room. And then again, we're going to go under these floorboards tonight. I've actually heard a key be hit or twice, really right above me. And so it's interesting. There's a lot of things that do happen in these rooms. It's almost like the party never actually ended. One infamous party that happened on March 27th, 1860, because this one involves Matilda. And this is honestly a very tragic story. But for this, I'm going to take you into the women's parlor. I'll tell you a little bit more about where it came from. We initially started. So this is the main hallway to the home. Now, the reason I bring you out here is I wanted to show you the staircase. Now, sadly, this is not the original staircase. It wasn't until, well, really to give you kind of a comprehensive history, the Weeds would own this property up until the 1930s when they would move this house to the bank during the Great Depression. They made a bad financial decision. From there, it would be sold, the bank would repossess it, they would sell it to a family called the Cohens, who would actually own this property up until 1997.
Now we can like roam around, but
And so we had a few students from staff.
we're supposed to like somewhat maybe see Matilda in some of the reflections. This I'm just gonna like. I'm gonna go to the far room. Okay. I'm like. I don't know how to like talk during this because it's like kind of awkward. But when we were in the room down over there, the very first room, I don't know how to explain it. Like I felt like I was gonna fall over. Like I felt like I could just like I was like kind of uneasy, I guess.
The old DeSoto Hotel, but that might be when they first started construction. That's actually a very good question. But the picture's also new, so I know learn all about it.
There you go.
You know, we'll come back next year. I got an answer for you. You're gonna give me homework.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm talking to you.
Is it normal to get like almost like back of your socket like headaches or like back of your neck?
I actually talk about that on my tour. Yes.
Like later?
Yeah, like the back, like right under your eye, and
It's like kind of behind my socket and then on the back of my neck.
yeah, I talk about it.
It's normal?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
Her reaction got me going crazy. It was crazy. She was like, I'm like, oh my. Okay, we're going to the basement, I'm pretty sure, but I'm gonna go through here. This is what this looks like. And then I'm gonna take a picture. Nobody else is in here with me, so Off we go.
Someone want to be brave and go first. I was gonna say, both y'all. Yeah.
I didn't see anybody else.
Oh wow.
And then someone changed it.
This is where stuff happens. This is where stuff happens. You can't see me. So scary.
All right, y'all. And so what you would do is collect water from the well outside. You would actually end up doing your laundry in this for a few days until the water would go bad. And how you would keep reusing the water is you would actually boil the water in between each load. Now, in this laundry room, not too much is reported outside of smells. A couple of the rooms down here are going to have a lot of smells that come out of them. Now, people will say that they will smell kind of florals or soaps in this room. And, smelly goods that you would put in your laundry to hopefully make them smell a little better. Now, personally, I've smelled this myself, but a lot of the fireplaces throughout the house, and specifically this one, you might actually smell a burning log. It smells like it's an active fire. And I can tell you this much, in Texas, I was a code compliance officer, and I thought I would do building inspection, and I thought the house was on fire the first time I smelled that. It just hit me and it went away. And I'm thinking, this has been out of commission for decades. There is no reason why you should smell a fire coming out of the fireplace. And so it's really strange. But the reason I am still standing on this step is because I did want to tell you the story about how I met Matilda Ann. So this little girl, again, she's a 6-year-old. She likes to run amok through the house. And she doesn't just go up and down the stairs in the hallways upstairs. She will run around down here as well. Now, she loves to play games, and one of her favorite games is hide and seek. Now, when I first started working here, I was a little bit of a skeptic. I didn't really believe in ghosts because I'd never experienced anything quite like it. And that kind of changed after I've had a few experiences in this house. Now, there was one day after a history tour, I was being a little facetious, and this was maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday, and I'm closing up the history tours for the day, and I'm getting things ready for the ghost tours at night, and I was the only one in the house. And I was standing on the step here, and I said, okay, little one, let's play hide and seek. And I was doing this jokingly and waiting for an answer, when I hear little footsteps run from the back of the basement all the way around and a little giggle at the end of the steps. Well, I hid, we never finished the game, because for the most part, the last thing you want to hear in a basement, whether it's sunny or not, is a disembodied giggle at the end of the steps. And so that was how we met. But a lot of the times, she's going to let you know when she wants to play. A lot of the times what she's going to do, like any 6-year-old, we've been around kids, they want to get your attention, they will. She will tap you or poke you or pull on you. If you have your purse strap or your jacket or your shirt, she will tug on you. She will let you know when she's around. She will actually reach out and grab your ankle as well.
Wow.
And it feels cold. It's a cold little hand, but it's almost spiderwebby at the same time.
Oh.
There is no way to describe that feeling until you felt that yourself. We're going to go to the back of the basement right over here. You don't want to lead the way? Office. This is Dr. Frank. This is the 3rd child that was born from Lucinda before she passed away. Now, this gentleman was a very smart man. He was very learned. He went to the University of Princeton, University of Pennsylvania. He was a very good doctor. And he did what a lot of kids do after college. He moved back home with mom and dad for a minute. And he thought, this is a really great place to get my feet off the ground and start my business. This mainly was a grains and storage room, but for about 3 years, it actually was a doctor's office. Now, this over here was the front door. And then right back here, we have 2 red doors. And then on the opposite side of kitchen number 2, we have another 2 red doors. All 4 of those go out to an enclosed porch area. That would be the waiting room, the recovery room, or where you would leave the dead body for the morgue to collect. He had a specialty in a couple things, and that was trauma surgery and amputation. So Dr. Frank would actually perform those in this room. I can into surgery or trauma surgery or amputation in this time period, sometimes the success rate was as low as 5%. But Dr. Frank had a 46% success rate. He was doing miracle work. And so there's a reason for this. For the most part, he never turned anyone away from that door. Didn't make a difference if you were high society, low society, even enslaved. If you came down to Dr. Frank, he would help you. That means thousands of people were operated on in this room.
Wow.
Now, with this as well, he also toured through Europe and he learned about germ theory. The man would actually wash his hands in between patients. It's amazing what germs can actually do when you learn how to take care of germs. Now, first and foremost, the first thing everyone stares at is this skull. That is not a prop. That is a real human skull. That did belong to a woman. And just behind her, we have dentistry tools. These over here are actually going to be, we have one of those clamps that actually hold open your chest cavity. And then right over here, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these in doctor's offices. It just looks less scary today. But that needle and thread look awful. But this right here is actually going to be a bone saw. Now, to give you an idea of what this office would be like, and fun fact, ladies, we are directly below the women's parlor. So imagine Matilda up there hosting tea when her son's down here operating. But how this would work is you would actually have chloroform or ether to knock you out. Otherwise, if it didn't work or you didn't have it, you would take a shot of something, you'd have a strap of leather between your teeth, and you would have people holding you down. And how this would work is, let's just say I come in and my arm has gangrene and it needs to come off. Well, you would have a scalpel to get through the skin, you would have through the bone. And then there'd be a countdown. It would be 3, 2, 1, snap. And then what you would do is Frank would actually throw your limb in a bucket, and then he would pack your wound, and then you would cauterize the wound via the fireplace. And so for the most part, they had a saying that the bloodier looking the doctor, probably the more successful he was. That meant he was seeing more people. So this room was a horror show. And you can only imagine, Dr. Frank was a great doctor, but obviously 46% is not 100%. So people would pass away in this room. And again, we don't have full numbers of how many people he would actually see. It's written about in the letters. He just never turned anyone away. So thousands of people were operated on in this one room. People will say that they feel nauseous, that they feel lightheaded or dizzy. By all means, the couches down here, you're welcome to sit on. That couch, fun fact, was on Ghost Adventures. That's where Zach Bagans gave his interview. It's just been reupholstered. Cool. I like to point that out because some people love to point that out. But people will say that their limbs start to go numb in here, that they will have weird phantom pains, or that they will smell or taste blood actually coming out of this room. Now, I had somebody tell me that they had a weird pain go under their eye. And the reason I do bring that up is because this was the first room I was scared of in this house, because I was actually shadowing a tour. And I had this weird pain go under my eye and right out the back of my head. And it felt like it was melting out of my head. It was so painful. And I grabbed my face and I ran out of the room. And then it went away. And I'm like, that's really weird. And I came back and finished my tour and didn't think anything of it. Well, I started to have people on the other guides' tours talk about they had this weird pain go under their eye and out the back of their head. And then I had some people start to bring this up on my history tours and then my ghost tours. And then I had a medium come on one of my tours who said, are you aware there's a man who's been shot through the eye down here?
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh.
I was like, did not need the confirmation, but you might actually feel what some people have felt in this room. And it honestly felt like I was shot through the eye.
Also, when we were in that room, did you guys hear that like dark, like that kind of thud sound? Yeah. My dad was moving, but he pushed his hand back. He has rings, but he pushed his hand back because he felt something in his hand. And then that's why he was like bending over, looking on the ground. And then also when you were just talking over here and I was over there, I kept like staring behind me, and then I saw like something walk past. That's why I started like going like that and stuff.
So whatever that shadow thing is, normally it's seen like in the door over here between kitchen number 2 and the office. But I know the other day when I was closing, the door was like this. And I was standing literally right here, and I could see literally, it was tall, a shadow figure, and I put my flashlight through it. And so that's interesting. It could honestly be, there's, again, you'll see shadows at the corner of your eye all the time in here.
Yeah. Also, that like young girl who like touches the ankles, is it kind of like a tickle?
A little.
Right? I'm standing down. I'm standing right. And
is it cold?
It felt
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
like it
Kind of
felt like-
spider webby.
yes.
Yeah, it felt like something that just rubbed on you, and then because
Yeah.
I moved, and then I felt it like twice.
Yeah, it's kind of spider webby, and it's usually really cold, and it's always really low, like
Yeah,
really
like,
small.
Yeah, I
It was
felt
like
it.
right here.
Yeah.
I felt it
Normal-
behind my
Normally, I know when she's around because I'll get chills, and it's it's real low.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but whenever I was feeling nauseous,
yeah.
as soon as you left that room, I just felt like good again. Like I didn't feel
Yeah.
because it felt like a bunch of weight on me.
Yeah.
And then when I left the room, I felt normal.
Yeah, there's something weird about that room. Like I 100% believe you because again, I almost passed out in that room the second time I was ever in this house, and so I was just taking a tour, seeing if I wanted to work here. And again, that didn't even convince me this house was haunted until a few times later. I just thought that was really weird.
What's the worst thing you've ever experienced?
I would say probably that shadow figure because it was literally we were the only two in this entire house.
I found someone's keys on the couch.
Oh, good, those are mine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oops. I was sitting in here a minute ago.
Okay.
So, no, I was actually talking with an associate down here. So, with the lights on, don't worry. But thank you. I'm gonna need these to get home.
Oh my.
You gotta ask
This is
permission,
bright.
man. You
Can
gotta
I sit
ask
on your chair?
Don't curse. Neither. I'm
Mom
sure
told me
you
not to
might.
bring back anything. Ah. My back hurts. Okay. Just gonna stay here for a minute. I feel like I feel like my back's just fucking getting drained right now. There is such a heavy feeling in this right now. I'm gonna sit this right here for a minute. Like I just have the worst feeling in my back.
Everybody, are we about ready to head on out?
Okay.
We still have a little bit more to go. We have a carriage house and a courtyard to talk about.
I don't know. I felt just my back hurts. I gotta get it.
All right, we're dragging a little bit, but I'll let you
Stop, Theo. Theo. It's so not funny. You didn't. You literally didn't.
I got you so good.
Story balcony. Now, as you can see, it's technically the third, right?
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't count as a floor. That is the basement, even though it's above ground. This is floor number 1, the parlor level. Right up here is this is going to be floor number 2, the bedrooms,
See what I'm
and then
saying?
up there you can't see it, but that's the
Lights
attic
up
level.
in normal
And so,
building.
have we all seen Forrest Gump? I'm sure we have.
Yeah.
The feather scene in the beginning of the film was actually dropped off the top of our roof. And so there actually is an attic up
The
there,
what?
and you
The
can
beginning
stand
scene
up
of Forrest
there.
Gump
There's
was
a
filmed at
reason
the top of the
why
roof.
it's actually covered. We're going to talk about that. But for the most part, Matilda would have been on the second story balcony, and what would have happened is she would have fallen into this courtyard. Now the brick here would not have been here. This was dirt floor, and it also would have been 3 feet deeper. So you can imagine that fall, it would have been a farther fall. And with it being a dirt floor, she wouldn't be hitting the brick. It wouldn't have killed her instantly. Now, what Francis would put in the newspapers is that Matilda fainted off that balcony. Now, I'm a terrible example, but I am 4'9". But the balcony on me, the railing, is about up to here on me. It's actually taller than you think it is. Now, let's say Matilda is a normal height of like 5'3", 5'4", something like that. It's still considered kind of on the smaller side today. But she's wearing a crinoline. She's wearing skirts and layers. It would be kind of impossible for her to faint off that balcony. Now, just past the brick wall over here, and all that foliage,
Yeah.
a neighbor said, I saw the whole thing. I had a clear view of it. And what happened was, she was screaming and crying, and she jumped off that balcony into a quote-unquote crumpled mess. Now, he was not protecting her right.
It smells like salt up here. Oh, wow. Wait, this was where freaking Bush. Oh my god, he was standing right here. That's so cool.
I was just staring at it.
Carl Jacobs is right here.
Now, how Savannah would usually have these carriage houses set up was almost exactly the same way. They would not have had so many nice things. It would have been small cots on the floor and very little else. Now, the staircase that you just came up was not originally there. The Cohen's family added that staircase as well, because remember the basement was Lady Jane's dress department store? This was the hair and nail salon that accompanied it. Now, that was not here. This would have been floor going all the way across. The only way you could access the top half of the carriage house was the door here and the door in the back bedroom over here. There would be a staircase on the side, and then you could see the scarring on the side of the building where there used to be a porch. That is the only way you could access the top half of this carriage house. Also, there was only 2 windows in here. One was literally up here, you could see the arch, and the other one right underneath that exit sign. So just imagine there'd be no cross breeze in here either. It'd be very hot, very cold, and very dark. All the rest of the windows were added at a later date. Now, when it does come to this carriage house, though, it's very interesting because for the most part, we have all the history on the house from the railings to the floorboards. But when it comes to this carriage house, there's a big question mark for us. We couldn't find anything on this carriage house. Now, we ended up doing a little bit of digging, and we did actually end up finding the information that we needed on this carriage house. Party, she's having a very bad night. Things just aren't going the way that she's wanting them to. And she decides it's probably time to find the head enslaved by the name of Molly. Molly would actually help you put a lot of these things together. And so she's walking through the house, and she can't seem to find Molly either. Molly has disappeared. And so she's thinking, okay, well now it's time to try to track her down. Now, Molly would have very few luxuries in this world, and one of them was her own private quarters back here. Being the head, she would have her own private bedroom. Well, Matilda decides she's going to walk across the courtyard, she's going to walk up the stairs and open that door to Molly's quarters, and there she finds Francis sporting with Molly. Now, an enslaved woman cannot give consent, so take with that what you will, but people will tell you that it was a love affair. And for the most part, this traumatizes Matilda so much that she locks herself in the master bedroom, and then some people will say she fainted off the balcony, or that she jumped, or they'll say Francis pushed her. And then 2 weeks later, Molly is found hanged from the rafters of that back bedroom. And they say that she did it to herself, or they'll say that Francis hanged her himself. Now, it makes for an interesting story, and people in Savannah, they love to put their own artistic liberties into stories. And so you'll hear some fluff in between there. But what do we know historically? Well, we do know that we have the information on this carriage house finally after decades of digging. Turns out we weren't just looking at the wrong family, we were looking in the wrong decade. We date this carriage house from 1871 into 1880, meaning the Sorrels never owned this carriage house or built it. The Weeds family had this built. And also, there'd be no enslaved living up here because slavery was abolished in this time period. In fact, we know now that the Sorrels had multiple properties. This was the main house that they would live in. And for the most part, this was all guarded. It was all decorative. Because they hosted here so often, they didn't have a carriage house. They would have just had garden here for show. There was no carriage house. But then that kind of begs the question of where would the enslaved have lived? Well, we know now that they lived in the attic of the main house, which is why the attic was shaded or covered, so you wouldn't see anyone up there. And also, of course, if you're having parties and you're hosting, the last thing you want is someone to look out of a window and see someone running between the living quarters and the working quarters. So essentially, they had that staircase that went from the attic all the way down to the working quarters. That was behind the scenes where no one could see it. And also, I cannot imagine working down in those working quarters and then walking up 4 flights of stairs every day.
Can I ask?
Where
so
freaking
there's,
Carl Jacobs was standing.
Who did live up here?
Right up
Did
here.
anybody live up here?
Yes, there were 2 domestic servants.
And I'm pretty
that
sure
shared
Sam and
this
Colby
work
and
stuff.
Foolish were up here with him, but then there was one investigation where he did it
Okay, yeah.
alone and Foolish was in the other house. So literally, this is where like the flashlight turned on and everything. Oh my gosh, I'm literally not even freaking out about the ghost thing. I'm literally freaking out by freaking Carl Jacobs and Foolish being up here.
We told him that. Yeah, you gotta take a lot of pictures. But he didn't actually run a Disney show. Right.
Oh my god. You just jumped through the window at me.
Did you scare you?
Yeah, that flipped them off.
So we're not stuck here.
Okay. Hey, it's editing Marina. I took way too long to edit this video and get it up, but I just finished it and I realized I never filmed an outro. So the whole thing, like the whole being there and everything was a amazing like opportunity I had, and it was so much fun. I actually experienced a lot of things that I didn't think I was going to experience. And after we left the carriage house, me and one of the group members that I was having that conversation with earlier with my tour guide, me and him were talking to the tour guide and showing us this video of when this guy came in as a complete skeptic, but something like grabbed his shoulders and stuff, and it was like the most pure reaction I've ever seen. It would like, and like no part of it looked fake whatsoever. So like it was so crazy to see just like raw footage from their security camera in like it was actually just crazy. And then she also showed us a video of in the original Sorrel-Weed House, the very first location that we were at, the door would open and close on its own while she was giving a tour down in the basement. So that was really cool to see also. But yeah, so it was really cool experience, and I'm really happy I got to go and did it with my family because a lot of stuff happened that I didn't think was gonna happen. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know this took forever to put up, so I'm sorry about that, but hope you like this video. So